Joe Violetta, Four Core Financial. Welcome. Today we're going to hit on a very important topic. And I always like to say I'm all set a lot of times when I'm worried about talking about a concept that I might not be prepared to do at that moment. And one of the areas this really happens in is when people start to talk about end of life. And that's common. And the main reason for that is no one really wants to think about this. And also no one wants to put their family through worrying about this. So let's touch on a will. And it's very important for you to have a will. Right now, only 42% of adults have a will. So that means close to 60% of Americans don't have any estate planning in place at all. And if you have a will, a lot of people will say, well, I put a will together, so therefore I don't need to do anything. Everything is earmarked to my family. Well, it is important to have a will because a will determine who is going to get your assets and your, keepsakes, things that you really want to pass on specifically to family members. What many folks don't realize is that a will guarantees probate. And probate is the process that determines how long it will take for your assets to be distributed to your family. So with a will, not only does it go through probate, which could be a costly time frame, as well as a very large financial cost, it's public. So if you have ever owed money, this gives someone the opportunity to collect on a debt. So for example, if you use a landscaper and they cut your lawn on a weekly basis and you happen to pass away and there's a couple cuttings that were owed, that needs to be rectified. And that's why there is a probate process. Also, with a will, it can be challenged. So if you have a will and there's, a disgruntled family member, relationship strains, someone that feels they're entitled to more, or if there's someone that you don't even owe money to but decides they want to try to pretend like you do, they can put a claim against you, and probate has to determine that. When you look at what could be a viable option for it, and you're probably wondering, well, what can I do if I either don't have a will or have a will that will help protect my family members? Well, there is an option of what's known as a living trust, or commonly known as a revocable trust. And what that living trust allows you to do is bypass probate. It allows you to have a process that is private. It also allows you to grant access pretty much immediately when you pass away, or determine how you want your assets to be distributed even after you've passed. As an example, you might want to leave a certain amount each year to an individual that maybe isn't fiscally responsible. Lastly, I think it's important to recognize that specifically built into this is the ability to make sure if there's someone you do not want to have access to any of these proceeds, you can specify that as well. So private process, lower cost, avoids probate, immediate access, and you have the ability to specifically make sure the folks that you don't want to have access to your funds do not have access to your funds. This might be an area to focus in on. If you want to learn more about this, or if you have any questions about it, feel free to reach out to us here at Four Core Financial. We'll be glad to review your options with you. Thank you.